Tonight, former DEA legend and agent Cele Castillo takes us on an inside tour of the alleged American war on drugs in Peru and South America. Hey, back and proud to have Cele Castillo on the program. Wanted to have him on for quite some time. Just worked out that tonight's the night. His book, again, is a real classic. Cele, where is the book Powder Burns available right now?
Well, you can get it with me, and you can call me and send me a check, and I'll be glad to mail it out to you.
Wow, all right.
My number is 956-345-5770.
956-345-5770. Okay, all right. Cele's book is truly an incredible look at what really goes on in this alleged drug war of ours. Last question before we get to Peru. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, well, gee, how's Cele still alive? What's the trick? And there's usually people like Cele Castillo are not they weren't born yesterday, folks. They know how to keep themselves alive for the most part. And well, I got to think you got some security somewhere.
Absolutely. And what I have basically was I had a friend of mine who's retired now, Louis Diaz, who I work with in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me to keep journals. And at the end of the day, I would go home and I write down and basically what happened. And since that day, I've had journals every year, and at the end of the year, I would write everything down. And not only that, I took pictures. I've got over 2,000 pictures I took when I was with the agency.
It's called life insurance, folks.
Exactly, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I had a little bit of everything, and maybe that's what keeps me from getting hurt. And the bottom line also is the fact that what I've said is true, and I don't think nobody ever wants to contradict the fact that I not only say it, I can prove it.
Well, they wouldn't want you in front of a major legal tribunal with your evidence.
Exactly.
All right. Iquitos, Peru, Friday, April 20th. I'm sure all of you listening who pay any attention at all know what happened then. The U.S. Department of Defense radar aircraft manned by 3 former U.S. military men who were under contract to the CIA. This radar aircraft, again, American-staffed, under contract to the CIA, and 1 Peruvian Air Force officer notified the U.S.-controlled, that's important to underscore, U.S.-controlled radar station at Peru's Morona-Cocha military base that it had sighted a plane that had crossed some 3 to 4 miles into Brazilian territory just off the Hivari River, the Peruvian border with Brazil. Pick up the story, Cele. Tell us what happened.
Well, let me just read something to you and see what you think of this. And let me just read it. It's a very short paragraph.
Sure. Go right ahead.
It's me speaking. Our pilot swamped down on a Colombian bird with the sun at its back, broadcasting his orders to land before the drug cartel pilot realized he had company. We were close enough to see the Colombian pilot flipping us off. We maneuvered on top of the Colombian plane, dropped to within 50 yards of the dopers as they tried to figure out where the invader was. The Guardia pilot yelled a suggestion to the Umapar member inside, which nodded and raised his sight windows. They poked their rifles through the windows and rattled off a dozen rounds at the Colombian plane's wings, puncturing its fuel tanks. We followed the crippled plane until it splattered and crashed, ripping a scar into the jungle. It was the first of several one-sided air battles I watched, all ended in fury deaths of cartel pilots and runners. This was the same area in 1985.
85?
That's correct, sir.
16 years ago.
Yes, sir. We've been doing this from the get-go. We've been shooting planes left and right like flies. This is the United States government. Okay?
And we've killed a lot of people, haven't we?
Absolutely, sir. And the bottom line is we don't even know those planes have. I mean, who's going to go into Virgin, double, triple canopy and try to figure out there were drugs in that plane? This is what the U.S. government has done all these years and gotten away with it.
So a lot of people who have died have been utterly innocent and not involved, in all likelihood, with the drug business.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, but I think that on this issue that just happened last couple of weeks was the fact that the war in Colombia is going to escalate, and the Special Forces unit in Iquitos is going to be standing by on the border, waiting for the Colombians to cross, and they will be slaughtered. And that's the way they do business. And they don't want anybody around. And in my professional opinion, I feel that this was a warning to all Americans to get out of the area. We shoot planes leaving Peru into Colombia, not coming into Peru. So explain that,
Yeah. All right.